And we're off. So, what are you looking for as far as weapons are concerned? I know we saw Dragonmaster practicing those bomb strats.
I'd like to see bombs, honestly. I like finding more weapons out in the world. I don't want to see him get a bow or a hammer here, just because that makes it a little bit easier for him to get around.
Absolutely. We got a really quick map to check there from Freddeh. That was Green Pendant Eastern. And I believe just regular crystals for both Tower of Hera and Desert Palace.
Oh, and there is the hammer. That's honestly probably what most of our racers are looking for here at the beginning. That will give them 1/3 of the way access to the Dark World.
I'll tell you this for free. Dragonmaster is really happy to see that down after last race. But of course, we are a long way from the end of this one. Plenty of opportunities for the seed to throw some nasty stuff our runners' way.
If anybody who is watching this does not watch one of these runs before, I'm sure you can already tell just by what you're seeing is that this is Link to the Past for Super Nintendo, but all the item locations have been randomized. Your dungeon rewards also, whether it be a crystal or pendant, have also been randomized. Your goal is to get all 7 crystals, make your way to the top of Ganon's tower, kill Aghanim there, and then kill Ganon in the pyramid. We're going to see which one of these racers is able to puzzle out the way to do that first.
Absolutely. The first, of course, the first concern our runners have right now is getting through the escape sequence and getting a bomb, at least one, to get into the final 3 chests and escape. We're going to see how much they farm. With that hammer, it gives them a lot of opportunities to farm for a bomb.
That hammer does the damage of a tempered sword, so I'm a little bit shocked that they aren't trying to kill these green guards here already, but they got a couple options here. Big magic file there. Dragonmaster going to go ahead and pick that up on the off chance he grabs a fire rod or something.
A nice early bottle there. That will make their Kakariko routing a little more efficient. Be able to route it to the kid.
Yeah, that's one of the items that you always want to see pretty early, at least by the end of North Kakariko.
So Freddeh actually ignoring that big magic refill. And no real reason to get it now. It would only really come into play if they were to get some, something like the fire rod or Samaria early. Trying to save as much time as possible. I think both these guys know, this is for their tournament lives, and it's been a fairly evenly matched series so far.
They have found the map and they have found the chest key. I think that means that we have 4 items left in here. I mean, if you count Sanctuary in the back of a swamp or back of the sewers.
Yeah, they're gonna need to find a bomb for that though. And so far, not much farming between the two of them. We'll see if they can start doing that a little bit more once they hit the sewers with the rogues and rats.
Now, our item drops have been semi-randomized as well. You still have the same enemies that'll drop select classes of items. However, those classes have been moved around a bit within the enemy groups.
Yeah, so we've seen them kill a few green guards, but no bombs thus far. Doesn't necessarily mean that the green guards don't have bombs in their prize pack. It just means they're buried a little bit deeper down, percentage-wise.
And not only that, there were 2 different types of green guards. There's the ones with the short swords and the ones with long swords, which do have different different prize pack drops. Saw Freddeh there try to take out one of the rats. Nothing there, but let's see what the rope room gives us. Oh, and Dragonmaster gets his bomb, and Freddeh does the same.
Yep, so that's one weight off the runner's minds. They won't have to worry about not getting it and their opponent getting a bomb. We find the lamp. Very early lamp.
That is a very nice item to have. However, these racers, these are in the top 64 of, I believe it was 520 some that entered at the beginning. These racers know how to do most, if not all, these rooms, dark rooms, without the lamp.
And speaking of not having a lamp, they didn't have it for their entire run in race 2, so I think it's pretty safe to say these guys know what they're doing as far as the dark rooms are concerned. We've got blue mail, blue potion, and blue boomerang.
Dabu dee, dabu die, and we are on our way over to the sanctuary.
And both runners making pretty good time through here. Hammer is going to be one of the faster escape weapons. Both getting out of here roughly the 6 minute and 5 second mark. It's about what you're shooting for. And they find the hook shot.
Oh, that is a big find. That's a lot of mobility given right here at the beginning. If they know how to use it, be able to hook shot onto these trees, like we just saw Dragonmaster and Freddeh do. Use it in every opportunity they can open up a gap.
Sure can. And I would say, more importantly, we're just gloves away from full full Death Mountain access.
Yeah, gloves or flute.
Yep. We see Dragonmaster testing out the Tier 1 stun prize, which is just a heart. Might be useful in certain situations, but nothing major.
Triple is full magics. And flippers in the Thief's hideout there.
It's a very interesting set of items. A lot of times, early hookshot, early flippers can, and especially with the lamp, can point towards an Agaseed. We're kind of a long way from having that come into play, but it's something to keep in the back of our runners' minds here.
And both of our racers entering Kakariko Village. They both need bombs. Looks like Freddeh is going to go ahead and risk it, and it looks like Dragonmaster is going to do the same, just in a different location.
It'll be interesting to see if this pays off for our runners.
Dragonmaster gets boots while Freddeh gets red mail. And bombs for Freddeh. He will not have to double dip any of these locations. He'll still probably buy some. But Dragonmaster gets boots and immediately goes to buy bombs. Or no, he's checking Sick Kid first.
Yeah, hoping to grab some bombs either here from Sick Kid or in the back of the tavern. Finds a sword, though. Don't look now. We are one item away from Aghanim being accessible.
Yeah, that just becomes, man, that's a gamble and a half. Like, if you got those 3 items that early, like when do you decide to go ahead and do it? Nobody wants to, but if you do it early and your opponent doesn't, then that is quite a leg up you got on them.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Of course, it can also go the other way, and Aghanim could not be required, and you lose a lot of time doing that, unfortunately. We'll just have to wait and see what we get from the South Shore area and Eastern areas. And potentially, if we find gloves or the flute, what's on Death Mountain.
So Dragonmaster about to pick up his red mail down here. Freddeh already picked up his boots. This is a pretty promising early game, just with a lot of really nice items for them.
Sure is. Freddie's gamble of the of Blind's Hut ends up paying off a little bit here, going to give him a bit of a lead coming out of Kakariko. Also interesting that neither runner checked Lumberjack Ledge. Now with the boots, I know a lot of runners put off checking Lumberjack until they have boots. Wonder if either runner is going to head up that direction and, route in something like Bonk Rocks.
We're going to take a look at the library here first. The library is open.
Oh, it's a mushroom.
And reading is fungus mental.
It sure is, and that's an interesting one. So, I imagine at this point, probably going to get South Shore check. It is obviously the next most item dense area of the game. Dragonmaster not even going to check the race game, is going to head straight there with those boots. Gonna be a little disappointed when he only finds 10 arrows.
And there's that immediate save and quit. He'll be starting back at Link's house most likely. He could go to Sanctuary and check Bonk Rocks, but no, he's going to go south. And there's the gloves.
So we have a lot of items to check here. All of South Shore, of course. All of Death Mountain is now open to our runners. Bonk Rocks and Agonist Cave. Not to mention, with those flippers, they can check Lake Hylia and Zora. So, yeah, plenty of options here. And we're just a moon pearl away from Darkhold access.
And this is another really good benefit of having that hook shot early. It's Mini Moldorm Cave, which can be a little trolly early in the game. Depending on what you have, it's just made super simple.
Yep, hookshot kills in one hit. All the fetch quest items showing up here. Now we have powder as well. Really nice safety item, but of course also means that Magic Bat now in Logic.
You rarely see a 13-minute Magic Bat, but we might be seeing that in a few minutes here.
They could potentially route that in with a Bonk Rocks and Lumberjack check, but we'll have to wait and see. I think there's some more pressing areas to get to. We see Freddeh here going to set up a water walk glitch, which can be done by dashing along the edge of that pit in Ice Rod Cave. And he's going to jump off the edge of this ladder here and walk on water.
That is one of those things that looks really impressive. That is a really simple trick to pull off.
Yeah, it definitely looks harder than it is. We see Dragonmaster doing the same thing. This saves so much time over swimming to these areas. They will lose it here at Hobo, unfortunately, but you need to be careful when you're doing this. The one thing to kind of keep consideration of is bonking will knock you out of that state, and there's Master Sword on Lake Hylia Island.
Yeah, if man, I think when they go down to Hype Cave, if they got the mirror at that point, they go ahead and grab that unless they've already got tempered.
Yeah, I would say unless you have tempered, you're definitely going to be trying to grab that sword at a convenient time. And we got Freddeh is actually going to do these checks over here in Zora's domain. Dragonmaster completely skipping out.
I think Dragonmaster's making the right call. Not enough money. You do not want to make 2 trips up to Zora.
Yeah, this is definitely a small time gambling that nothing's going to be over here. But as we see from Freddeh, just a heart container on the Zora ledge. Nothing was in the waterfall. Just 5 rupees there for Dragonmaster and Bonk Rocks.
Looks like Freddeh is going to be making those same checks here in just a moment. Dragonmaster, let's see if he goes to checks Lumberjack, and looks like he will be.
Yeah, I think at this point, given how close Agate is to being available and in Logic, this is the time to do it. Just a 5-on upgrade though.
Yeah, just a bigger bomb bag, so we are Agate's on life support right now.
The only reason our runners could have to go do Agate at this point is if Moon Pearl is on the pyramid.
Yeah, Moon Pearl on pyramid or something that leads to Moon Pearl on the pyramid. If Shovel's on pyramid, and Moon Pearl is in the dig spot, if Moon Pearl is in Checkerboard Cave, for instance, and they need the mirror, but that pyramid item has to be something related to Moon Pearl for them to need to do Agate at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Could be book, something like that, yeah.
And with the way things are going with our fetch quest items, who knows?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how many items the Seed has thrown at our runners right away. So much of the world is open to them, the light world specifically. But still trying to hunt down that one last item you need to get further in the game. There's a sword upgrade in Spectacle Rock Cave. Dragonmaster going to immediately go grab that.
So yeah, at this point we know up to Tempered where they are.
Yep, and we're gonna be able to do a whole lot over here on Death Mountain. We'll ride around over the bridge with the hook shot, grab the items in Paradox Cave, head over to Tower of Hera. That'll be full clearable, and it is a crystal. And then they probably finish off with Spiral Cave as well. So plenty of item checks left here. Moon Pearl could easily be in this location.
They would absolutely love here in Hype Cave 2018, Paradox Cave, to find a Moon Pearl and Mitts. Go ahead and just take out Dark Death Mountain while you're at it.
First 2 chests here for Dragonmaster, Big 20 and Big 20. A little bit disappointing.
See what the 5 chests here in the bottom of Paradox Cave. We get Ether, we get some bombs, we get another Big 20. The Cane of Samaria. That opens up nothing right now.
It opens up nothing, but those could potentially 2 hugely important items. Kane, of course, required to beat Misery Mire and Turtle Rock, and Ether Medallion could be required to open those dungeons. So we obviously won't know until we get to the Dark World, but nice to have those out of the way and out of sight, out of mind.
20 rupees up on the floating island, so we won't be going up there anytime soon. I believe there's 20 on the top of Spectacle Rock as well.
I believe that is correct, yeah. And Dragonmaster going straight for Tower of Hera. 2 items in here. Will we see the basement today?
We got a 50-50 shot at that. And it's still up in the air. We found 2 items up here in the top part of Tower Hera. We will not be seeing that basement, but if something is down there, if we find that small key on Modorm without the other item, we're going to be taking a quick coffee break.
Yeah, 1 item remaining, and the one thing the runners probably don't want to see is that small key. But Dragonmaster will be the first up here, and somehow 20 minutes in we have hookshot and boots, so you don't have to worry about doing any crazy bomb jumps here to get the big key chest. Just have to hookshot over and then bonk yourself back, which is really nice. And the seed just keeps throwing stuff at these runners. Half magic in the big chest. That is a really nice find early, and it also means that we have dodged the basement.
Half magic it's great to find. You're never going to be disappointed when you find that unless it's way out of the way and you just need that 1 item for go mode.
Yeah, I think runners at this level don't need it and will never go out of their way to get it. Too far out of their way to get it, I should say. But it is something nobody will turn down. And we have our first crystal, 21 and a half minutes into this seed. Freddeh unfortunately taking a fall to Moldorm there. We saw Dragonmaster use those hammer strats, and Freddeh opting for Master Sword spins.
Oh, and he takes a fall there. Thankfully not in the middle hole, but he will have to go back up. And we're going to be getting Spiral Cave from Dragonmaster.
Yep, this is, at this point, the final check he has on Death Mountain, and unless this is the Moon Pearl or Mitts, he's going to be moving on, most likely over towards Eastern Palace.
And Freddeh takes another fall. Man, that's rough.
Yeah, this can be tough. Once you kind of got knocked off a couple of times, it can get into your head a little bit. He just needs to calm it down, focus, and get these spins off.
Oh, look at what Dragonmaster's doing. He's setting up Houlihan.
Took me a second, but yes, of course. Obviously, with the flippers now, this is the only available setup left for Houlihan. Freddeh finally getting the best of Moldorm, venting a little frustration there in the giant worm's way. Does get his first crystal.
I seem to remember learning a weird setup for Houlihan back years and years ago, where you had to like dash all the way over to the normal uncle entrance, and that would put you in Houlihan if you made it there in enough time.
Yeah, I just want to say I really like this routing from Dragonmaster. So finishes up on Death Mountain, Houlihan's, and now is going to be able to route in Mushroom check with his Zora's Domain checks. So all those checks Freddeh did early, Dragonmaster is going to be able to do them slightly more efficiently here.
Oh, and there's the Moon Pearl off of that fungus.
So the library fungus leads to the Moon Pearl, and that's our Dark World access. Kiss the Agadream goodbye, unfortunately. Not unfortunately for our runners, but for us.
Dragonmaster still does need to find 2 rupees. I don't think he'll have much of a problem, but
There's one.
one of the few times in this game you will see somebody go back to grab 1 rupee from somewhere. And we're going to see what's in Sahasrama's closet here. Our 3rd bottle of the game and the Ice Rod.
Well, still don't know if that ice rod is required, but you'd rather have it than not have it. Of course, on Freddie's end, what he really wants to see is that Moon Pearl, and unfortunately, this play is not going to get it for him.
Like, it's very highly likely that this play could just grab him nothing. I mean, you have Dark World access. You have a ton of places you can go now. Yeah, Eastern may not hold a single darn thing.
Yeah, and diving into pendant dungeons is something nobody really wants to do. Eastern Palace, one of the faster pendant dungeons to grab the items in, but even still, this very well could be a check that Dragonmaster never has to make, and that's just time that he's got up on Freddeh here.
Dragonmaster's going to go ahead and check out Hype Cave here. So chat, get your guesses in. What do you think's going to be in Hype Cave for us today? And to be fair, we are 26 minutes in, and looks like over half the tracker for Dragonmaster's already filled out.
I will say this does not bode well for the rest of the run, generally speaking. Anytime a seed front loads you like this, and there's only so many progression items in the game, right? So getting a bunch early means the rest are going to be a little bit more difficult to find.
Well, there's one right there. We get the gold gloves, the mitts, in Hype Cave. One of the few items that's 100% required every single game. And we got it there.
I wonder if we're going to get a map check anytime soon here from Dragonmaster. We still don't know what our crystal dungeons in the Dark World are. He's not worrying about that at all at the moment. With those mitts, he's going to route right around south, hit up Stumpy, hit up the big game if he gets enough money for it, and then head straight into Village of Outcasts.
We could also feasibly see Dark Death Mountain here soon.
Dragonmaster, not a fan of Stumpy. He could have used that 300 rupees just a little bit earlier. It's not really a nice thing to do to somebody who's giving you a bunch of money.
Pendant Swamp and Pendant Skull Woods. Looks like we got a red crystal on Meyer. Looks like one of our red crystals is going to be in the Dark World at Desert Palace, so flip-flop those, Light World, Dark World.
Yeah, on Freddah's end, no luck there with the Eastern Palace dip. And heading this way...
He's going to go to Magic Batter. No, Vanilla Piece of Heart for Dragonmaster.
I will say I'm glad to see Freddeh doing these one-off checks. It would not be the craziest thing in the world to gamble Aghanim at this point. And obviously, you're one item away from Dark World access, but you know, if you're trying to save all the time you can and you don't think it's likely that one of these locations has what you're looking for, then it's a gamble that many people have made in the past. We know in this case it would be a particularly bad one for him, but
Now that's an interesting play by Dragonmaster, just picking up the frog and saving quitting out. He's probably going to go right back into Dark Kakariko right after this. Or go back right now.
it looks like he's going to take Jeremiah on a little bit more of a journey here. Without the mirror, he can't obviously turn in that. Yeah, and I think he just realized his mistake. Needed to turn in Jeremiah before going to the Dark World. Without that mirror, he cannot do that. So there's going to be a little bit of time wasted on Dragonmaster's end.
Now, Freddeh is also hula hitting and picking up his rupees to go see King Zora. Not going to get anything there, but I hope he remembers to drop off that mushroom on the way. He got that very early, and it can be forgotten about relatively easily.
Yeah, but I think I do think he's going to be hitting that on his way. But now we're going to see what the blacksmith holds.
Just some IEDs there from the blacksmiths. And we are going to go see the Mad Batter here on Dragonmaster side. Not going to be anything there.
Freddeh does pick up his Moon Pearl and gets a little bit of a health refill there. He's
Just
actually, gonna completely, after getting that, gonna completely skip out on doing the Zora check, considering he's already checked Waterfall Cave and Zora's Ledge. Just gambling that Zora doesn't have anything this seed.
And that's going to be a good call from him. It may not have always worked out, but this specific race is going to work out really well for him.
Oh, I mean, it never feels good. Never feels good orphaning item locations like that, but in this case, yes, it is definitely going to work out for him. Save him a little bit of time over Dragonmaster here.
Now we're going to go ahead and check out Skull Woods with Dragonmaster and the best music in the game. This overworld Skull Woods music, which is just, it's a banger.
It's pretty fantastic. Shame we don't get it in many more locations in the game, but we'll see if this Swamp Palace dip ends up, Skull Woods dip ends up paying out for Dragonmaster. Just compass in a small key thus far.
Only 2 items in this dungeon, but time and time again, this is proven to be a place where really good items tend to congregate.
Yeah, and it's such a quick check. I mean, in previous versions, I think it was a much more valuable location due to how quick these checks are, and previous versions were a little more dungeon heavy as far as items are concerned. In this version, it hasn't paid off as much, but even still, like I said, it's pretty fast, and yeah, if it does have some sort of progression, you're in really good shape. But single arrow is probably not what you were hoping to find.
He may need that to get past that one-eyed statue in Palace of Darkness. You don't know.
Could very well come down to that one arrow. I can't predict the future or anything, but
Nah, we're going to go check out Dark Kakariko at this point. Or no, we're not. We may go see what's on Bumper Cave.
just do a quick check here. Bumper Cave. Dragonmaster does have to be a little bit cautious. He is in red mail, but he is also on 1.5 hearts. You definitely do not want to be dying here in the overworld.
I mean, those Dark World enemies are still pretty damage heavy. Oh, and there is the bow. The D in the C.
Yeah, big time find. That's going to fully open up Palace of Darkness for both runners once Freddeh gets that, of course. More pressing though, we are in Village of Outcasts. Thieves Town is a crystal, and I know our runners are happy to see this at a crystal, because Pendant Thieves Town is the absolute worst.
Oh, and Dragonmaster, be careful here, buddy.
Yeah, really needs to be cautious. If you're gonna die anywhere, die in Thieves Town. There's way less of a time sink.
Dragonmaster's going to go ahead and do his best just to get through here. He knows there's a bunny beam there, so being able to magic powder that was a really smart play right there.
Yep, knowing where that's located. We did see the flute from Freddeh there in the final chest in this front half of Thieves Town. Flute, a very nice find and required, as Misery Mire is a crystal. So Thieves Town paying out here. Of course, going to be finishing this off. Didn't see if we found any other items. I think there was one more. So 2 items remaining in this dungeon. But let's kind of run down what we need remaining. Like we mentioned, our runners got a lot early, so there's really not much left they need. Obviously, Fire Rod definitely going to be required for Turlock.
That may be the only thing that they actually need at this point.
Well, we don't know what the entrances to Misery Mire and Turtle Rock are going to require. We also do still need a way into Desert Palace. We need either the mirror or the book for that. So,
yeah, book or mirror and Fire Rod. If both Misery Mire and Turtle Rock turn out to be either, then we are only 2 items away at this point at 36 minutes. Now the chances of that are pretty low. It's a 1 in 3 chance for each of those dungeons, but man, who knows?
Yeah, we're really we're close to the point where some acceptable gambles might come into play. Once you get to the point where you're that close to go mode, you can take a little more risk. We're a ways away from that. We've got Thieves Town clearable here, Palace of Darkness completable over in East Dark World. We are actually a Fire Rod of Bombos away from being able to do Ice Palace as well.
A great spring pun here from Freddeh on the first day of summer.
Blind spit in the game.
Very, very good blind fight from Freddeh. Now we'll be seeing the same here from Dragonmaster here in just a second.
Showing off that scripted fight. Blind is one of those bosses that can either be the easiest boss in the world or one of the more painful bosses to do. But both runners doing it very easily.
Yeah, my preferred method of fighting blind involves the cape and just hammering on the sword button as quick as possible.
It's certainly one way to do it. Whatever gets the job done is what I say.
In Pegboard Cave, only having 20 rupees. If you have not realized by now, there are a lot of 20 rupees in this game.
Yep, and the seed was not giving us a lot of those early, so we can expect to see a lot more of them late.
Freddeh picks up Mr. Frog, and Dragonmaster is going to see his big 20 there. Where does Freddeh go at this one? It's probably going to be back over to the blacksmith. While Dragonmaster picks up the purple chest.
Freddeh gonna quickly check King's Tomb here.
Freddeh did not go to the C-shaped house.
Oh no, he didn't. Oh, I really hope he hasn't forgotten that.
I really hope he didn't accidentally mark it off on his tracker. I saw at least 1 or 2 races be lost in the Swiss brackets just because somebody marked something off on their tracker as a group of items, and then they didn't check it, and it turned out to be gloves or flute.
That would be a really heartbreaking way to lose, especially a race like this. Freddeh gonna activate his flute here, and you really hope for his sake that his plan is to route in C-shape house with his purple chest check. Just hope after he drops off the blacksmith here that he goes back to Dark World, does C-shaped house, and picks up the purple chest immediately afterwards.
Both of our races bring a captive audience here to hear the national anthem.
Both bring different +1s for the impromptu concert. Freddeh gonna flute away. Where's he going? He goes back to 3. Okay, that's a good sign.
This is a decent time save by Dragonmaster. Going to go ahead and do this and probably route in Agana as well. Or maybe not. Or, yeah, well, maybe.
He's gonna flute over here, check the desert ledge. Ooh, we have Quake.
Quake!
It does get his bow, gives a little slash. I think potentially maybe he just quickly forgot it on his way out of Thieves Town. Does pick it up though, which is big for him.
Yeah, that could have spelled disaster with a capital D.
Fortunately, I didn't quite catch what the medallion requirement for Misery Mire was there.
And Uncle Agina is being left out in the cold again.
Yeah, neither runner wanting to go to that. It's not quite as out of the way anymore, but it's a little bit out of the way. One interesting thing here. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You have flutes. You have flutes and boots. I mean, you might as well check it.
It is certainly easier to get to now. I was gonna say the one interesting thing here, Dragonmaster has not yet gone to Hospital's hut, where a very important item is located, and it's going to be interesting to see how long he puts that check off. It's not a huge deal, but the maybe worst case scenario would be for Ivestar to be his go mode item, and for him to gamble it being in Turtle Rock.
It does show up in Turtle Rock really, really often. Ice Rod has a reputation. It has a reputation because when it is required, it can be anywhere in the game that is not on Trinex or behind Trinex.
Yeah, and without the mirror, if he had the mirror, it would be a really quick check for him after he's done with Pod, but as it stands, he has no quick way of getting over there at the moment.
Yeah, we have 5 possible items here in Pod. We are going to be able to finish this dungeon, but without mirror, this is a little bit of a slog of a dungeon.
Yeah, potentially gonna have to set up some death warps, maybe even do a hammer jump. Just something I believe Dragon Masters practice. I'm So I believe I saw him pull that off in race 2. We do find the cape here, which is nice to have, but not going to get us anything item-wise.
Looks like it was Ether for Misery Meyer. Thank you to Teshrock in the chat for confirming that for us.
So that's one less concern as far as what we're looking for Go mode items. Still could be Quaker Bombos for Turtle Rock. We won't know until we get up to Death Mountain, Dark Death Mountain specifically.
At least we know where Quake is, and that is a very, very easy place to go grab. Good hallway dash there by Dragonmaster.
Freddeh gets it as well, so very nicely done for both of them. Couple keys over here on this bow lock section. It is interesting. We've got runners practically holding hands here in the Palace of Darkness. There's been some slight differences in routing, but they are close to neck and neck at this point. With I think Freddeh having a slight advantage with that ice rod.
No hammer up by Dragonmaster today. That is one of the more difficult, or at least taxing, bomb jumps in the game. Because you are timed on it. You only have a short amount of time to actually set everything up, as opposed to a lot of the other ones where you can kind of just make sure everything is nice and good.
Yeah, looks like rather than do that, he's just going to head through here like normal, then most likely set up a death warp.
You can always see him starting it by just walking through the little baby Dodongos there.
Yeah, one of the more convenient things about this dungeon mirrorless is that these Dodongos and the fire they spit do 1 hard damage no matter what. So even with red mail, it's going to be pretty easy to set up that death warp. Freddeh, the consideration he's going to have to make, he's going to need to remember that he has a fairy in a bottle. See if he remembers and releases that before death warping out.
Yeah, I know we just saw him look at his menu. I don't know if that fairy bottle was the one on top or not.
We're two heart containers in this dark maze. Fortunately, not the Sank heart. Freddeh.
Oh, Freddie.
I believe a similar thing happened to him in game 1 of this race 1 of this series, so that'll be something to ask him about after the race, I think.
You can tell he's a little bit frustrated by it just because he's yeah, there he goes.
So that's going to cost him a little bit of time trying to catch up to Dragonmaster here.
And good on both of our races for remembering they had the can of Samaria there.
Yeah, way faster than having to pull that statue into place. Also, nice hammer dash from Freddeh there to destroy those skull pots. Now to one of the most dreaded rooms in the dungeon. Fortunately, we don't have to do this in the dark this time, but Dragonmaster getting through those terror pins.
And we're going to see Helmasaur King here. Really, really cool design for a boss. I really like this boss a lot.
Yeah, really, really neat boss. It's a little more exciting in the NMG run with green male and low health pool, but here, red male, plenty of hearts. This fight shouldn't be too bad for either of our runners. And just a piece of heart from Helmasaur King, but we do get crystal number 3 at the 50-minute mark.
5 items in pod, and the best they made out with was the magic cape.
Yeah, it's as I was mentioning earlier with how much the sea gave them early, it was always going to be stingier late. Dragonmaster is choosing to run out of the dungeon here, likely to route in Pyramid and the Catfish.
Two out of the way checks. Not Pyramid is a little bit out of the way. Catfish is, you are going down in a holler in the sticks of the Dark World to go noodling up there.
Yeah, and most of the time, not for much return, sadly. But it can make or break a race if there is progression there. See, Freddeh gonna opt to skip these locations that Dragonmaster is checking.
Freddie's on his way to Dark Death Mountain. Oh, and there's the shovel.
So, yet another fetch quest item thrown at our runners, and it could be a progression, it could be nothing. We don't know. That would be really, really unfortunate for Dragonmaster if that shovel is just bait to get him out to go pick up another big 20.
I mean, it'd be unfortunate, but I mean, let's look at the bright side. We at least know Pedestal's not a fetch quest item.
So there's always a silver lining somewhere, I suppose.
And let's see what this catfish has eaten today. 20 rupees. I'm shocked. Oh, and Freddy's going to open up Turtle Rock. And it is Quake, so we know where the medallion is. We just got to figure out a way to get to it.
Yeah, still no way into Desert Palace and subsequently Desert Ledge. So Mirror or Book is going to have to turn up at some point. Dragonmaster immediately going to be checking this shovel spot. Wants to know if he made a good call or not.
Oh, and there's the book in Hookshot Cave. Hookshot Cave. Just 10 arrows there for Dragonmaster.
So that's an unfortunate time loss for Dragonmaster. Those Pyramid and Catfish checks not paying off. And I think we're finally going to see Agnes Cave. We know Dragonmaster needs to get to Death Mountain because that's where our progression lies.
Freddy didn't check Spike Cave.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I think he's thinking about it. He does have Ether Tablet open now if he wanted to go up that direction, but he's actually going to choose to flute away and head straight over to Desert, and is going to put that book to immediate use. Oh wow, I was wondering what Dragonmaster is doing. He does have the Ether Medallion, and this dungeon is clearable.
Toss that bird. Toss that bird.
Ask and ye shall receive. Dragonmaster sends the frozen bird to the watery depths.
I really hope I did not will him to just lose by 4 seconds now.
Yeah, very interesting here. Both runners in different dungeons now. Freddeh so far saw the compass on the torch. Has the big key, is going to head straight over to Landmo.
I mean, there's kind of different dungeons depending on how you look at it.
All right, and with that Quake Medallion, Freddeh is now a fire rod away from go mode.
Fire Rod's a very interesting one because even with Turtle Rock kind of requiring it, even possibly relatively early, depending on the key layout, that Fire Rod could be up to and including Laser Bridge.
And we have the Godmire on Dragonmaster's side. He's going to just head straight back to the boss here, not do any more checks. Unfortunately, didn't see if he found the first item of Misery Mire in that bridge chest. But if it was an item there, then that would be that would definitely make this play a pretty nice one.
I cannot remember if Freddeh got all the items out of Eastern, or yeah, he went to Eastern.
Yes, I honestly can't remember if he found 2 or 3 items, but nothing in there he found is valuable. So if there is an item remaining, it's on Armos.
And we are seeing Ice Rod strats here for Lamillas. And that works out pretty well. And he gets a big old piece of heart for his trouble.
Yep, that means there is 1 item remaining in Desert Palace. Unless... No, he found the big key in the first chest of Desert Palace, so... Oh, I guess there must have been an item in the big chest. I did miss that, unfortunately. But, he's gonna head straight into Misery Mire.
And half magic with the cape for Vitreous. Still going to take a little bit more time than you would really want for this fight, but having a good bit of arrows, he goes down.
But our runners knocking out crystal dungeons left and right. Dragonmaster gets his 4th crystal. And I have to imagine we'll be heading straight back into Misery Mire here to try and find the final item.
Yeah, we need either Fire Rod or Bomb Boost or Ice Palace. And our racers are going to pray that they're going to find Fire Rod before they find a Bomb Boost.
Especially on Freddeh's side, where that Fire Rod is the last item he needs. Dragonmaster still has to get back over to Eastern Palace to get his Ice Rod, though. So, Fire Rod at this point might not necessarily be great for him. Of course, he also needs the book from Hookshot Cave.
Oh, and there's the bug catching net.
All right, so it looks like that was the first item found here in Misery Mire. So Dragonmaster going to continue on. Check these left side chests. Hoping to avoid having to do the cutscene room here in Misery Mire. See, Freddeh actually making the exact same play the Dragonmaster did, getting that big key heading straight back to Vitreous. Got one more check here to avoid that long cutscene, but we're not going to avoid it today.
So very much a monkey's paw Misery Mire here. You get the God mode, but then if you want the items, you got to go all the way back and just basically check every chest on your way here to the cutscene.
Yeah, and especially long, given that we do not have the fire rod. We're going to have to do this the way Dragonmaster is now.
There's a very fun glitch you can do. That's a very easy to learn glitch. I recommend everybody learn how to make blocks disappear with the mirror. You basically just use the mirror as you're pushing the block. This does not work in dungeons, and the first time I ever did a race, I tried to do it on those blocks. I forfeited about 20 seconds later.
Well, that is bad news for Dragonmaster.
That's gonna be very fortuitous for Freddeh, though.
So it's going to take Freddeh a little bit to get down there, because I imagine he's also going to be hoping to skip that cutscene room. But once he does, he's going to be very happy he did with that fire rod, and he will be in go mode.
If Dragonmaster enters T-Rock, oh, he can't. He doesn't have Quake.
No, he's his only real option right now is to do Super Money Cave and Hookshot Cave. That's going to get him on the path he needs to go, but he is going to be doing it a little bit behind Freddeh at this point. So Dragonmaster does see that he needs Quake for Turtle Rock, knows where it is, but can't do anything about it right now.
I feel like Dragonmaster's done really well with his execution. He's not made bad decisions. They've just happened to be the wrong decisions. And if he's able to go back and realize, hey, there's a bunch of items in the back of Santa Taco's Hot, then who knows? Like, this could be still really, really close.
Potentially, but he's likely at this point is going to have to hope that Freddeh makes some mistakes. And my only worry here for Dragonmaster is he's going to get this book. He's going to be able to complete Desert Palace and Ice Palace. Will still not have the Ice Rod. And at that point, does he feel behind? Does he feel like he has the time to make more overworld checks for the Ice Rod? If he doesn't feel that way, he might opt to go straight into Turtle Rock, and that will be pretty heartbreaking. And I would agree with you. I've been impressed by Dragonmaster's routing. He's done a lot of checks really efficiently. Just unfortunately, the one or two that he skipped out on are really hurting him.
And that's one of the really big pleasures of Randomizer. Not so much for Dragonmaster in this situation, but and there's Bombos. Oh man. But even if you're not the best with execution, if you're great with routing, you can make up that time. It's unlike NMG where you have a set path that you do pretty much every time. In Rando, you make those decisions on the fly. You may go somewhere early game that you never go anywhere else early game. Uh, it's really a beautiful mod, and I love it.
Yeah, definitely one of the beautiful things about it. You can take a runner who's done a bunch of NMG, but if they haven't done much rando, yeah, absolutely somebody who's been doing this for longer will have a very good shot against them, even if their execution isn't maybe up to that level.
And there's go mode for Freddeh at 105.47.
That is very nice time so far for Freddeh here.
He's got 2 dungeons left. He's got Ice Palace and Turtle Rock. And we talked earlier about things that look very easy but are actually really difficult to pull off. Well, Ice Palace has almost some of the exact opposites. Things that look really, really cool but are actually really just straight up easy to pull off. We'll see a couple of them here in this dungeon.
We'll see. We'll almost certainly see a bomb jump here from Freddeh. Yeah, and I think the big question at this point, Freddeh's path is set now. He's going to go mode Ice Palace. He's going to go mode Turtle Rock. Probably won't be making too many more checks. He might keep an eye out for silvers, but at this point, at this point of the tournament, in a do or die race, I think you kind of have to commit to a silverless fight if it comes down to it.
Not just silverless, Master Sword silverless.
Yeah, you'll be hoping, obviously, that there's another sword somewhere in Garen's tower. We know where one is. It's currently inaccessible. See, Freddeh is making some checks, so still looking for a sword, still looking for silvers. But I can't imagine he's going to go too far out of his way. He's just, at this point, like I said, at this point in the tournament, playing for your tournament life, you kind of have to take some risks.
No, we're actually about to see one of those just really cool but really kind of easy to pull off tricks here on Freddeh's screen. This double Stalfos kill is really simple to pull off, but it just looks real slick every single time. And the cool and the slick were pun intended because this is Ice Palace.
It's a little bit colder than cool. Yeah, that trick having something to do with them sharing the damage when one of them is down from that bomb, I believe.
Yeah, it's a weird coding thing because as beautifully designed as this game is, like the vanilla Link to the Past is, the code isn't the best. There's a lot of issues with it that some of our runners choose to take heavily advantage of, and it works out really well for them. That's one of those rooms that happens in.
Sorry, are you meaning to tell me that Zelda: A Link to the Past is not a well-coded game?
They have some issues.
I don't know. But Freddeh, continuing to check chests on his way, finds a heart container. Did find that big key in the first chest by Ice Palace, so we'll make a quick check over here as well.
And there's just another big heart piece on both of our runners' screens at the same time. And Freddeh's going to just go ahead and kill Colster.
Yep, the big problem with sword upgrades this seed is we know where one of them is, and it is inaccessible at the moment.
I don't even know if Freddeh knows where it is. He did the dash and just went directly up to Hobo.
Yeah, I can't remember if he checked it on his way from leaving Hobo. Regardless, there's only one sword upgrade out there, and at this point, just have to hope it's somewhere that's accessible, either in one of the Turtle Rock chests or in GT.
Freddeh, you gotta be careful here, man.
Yeah, even on red mail, these puffs do an exceptional amount of damage, but he is able to get the job done, and he'll be heading up to Death Mountain and trying to get his 7th crystal at Turtle Rock.
Well, Turtle Rock has 5 different items in it, so some of the easier to find or easier to reach chests, I'm sure he'll be checking those. I wouldn't be totally shocked if he doesn't open all the, or if he opens all the Laser Bridge chests. He only needs the key out of it, but with Master Sword and no silvers, like I would expect him to open them.
Yeah, the one nice thing about Turtle Rock is you're kind of forced to open all those early chests. You need at least 3 keys out of the chests in Turtle Rock to be able to even get to Trinex. You can steal a key from the Pokey before the vanilla big key chest. But yeah, given the current situation, I would definitely expect Freddeh to check all the convenient chests. Yeah, and the other unfortunate thing for Dragonmaster, he's going to be full clearing this dungeon. So that's even more time lost for him, since he does still need that Ice Rod.
Yeah, and there's a distinct possibility he will just go up to Turtle Rock after this. If he goes to Sahasrara after this, he has a chance. If he goes up to Turtle Rock, this is Freddie's game to give away.
Yeah, we have found 2 items so far in Ice Palace.
Yeah, that third one is going to be on Cold Stairs, shield upgrade.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dragonmaster doesn't know that, and I don't know that he can make the gamble, because going back into Ice Palace is... nobody wants to do that. Hey, there's your mirror.
Now, they'll make GT a little bit easier.
If there's a good time to find mirror in a Pendant Swamp Seed, it is after you've already hit go mode. So Freddeh will welcome that, I am sure. Freddeh going to take it slower here with the Chain Chomp Rune.
Those will still do a lot of damage to you, even with red mail.
Yeah, Turtle Rock, even in red mail, still a formidable dungeon. Freddeh was able to grab another fairy on his way up here, so he does have some safety. And I believe he also found they found a blue potion earlier, which I don't believe they have used yet. So no real worries on that front. They also have powder, so Freddeh has everything he could want on the safety front. Yeah, Freddie opting to skip out on that chest there. Don't blame him. This will give him the potential to skip Laser Bridge if he so desires, if that's even an option for him.
And Dragonmaster's going to show us another Master Sword Cold Stare fight here. I'm going to use some Fire Rod kills here. With half magic, there's no reason not to.
Yeah, he even opted to use Bombos to crack the shell there so that he would have the maximum amount of magic to kill those puffs. Does it, and this is kind of the big moment for him. He's already well behind Freddeh here. Does he continue checking locations for the Ice Rod, or does he go straight to Turtle Rock? If he does not go to Sahasrah's closet, then that's good night.
Sahasrah's Closet was my favorite mid-90s Riot Girl punk band.
Oh, they were fantastic.
And Freddeh is going to be checking all these chests here on Laser Bridge.
Still hoping to see silvers or another sword, but is going to come up empty on that front. And we're going to get a Master Sword Trinex fight, which is not a lot of fun. And Dragon is going to be really happy he did this. It gives a few slashes, but Dragon Master is also in go mode.
And he found out where the green pendant is.
Yeah, and he is, at this point, a full Turtle Rock behind Freddeh.
And that is a hallmark of how well some of these players know this game. Is Freddeh came in here with Master Sword and knew exactly when to switch back to Ice Rod.
Yeah, opting to use Master Sword swings. Some people like to go hammer. It's a little bit more difficult with the hammer hitbox being so unreliable. But he gets through it just fine. And having that half magic really, really helps.
And down goes Trinex for Freddeh. We are watching this on the standard ALTTP Randomizer channel, but we do have a game that we still like to play. There are 22 possible locations in Ganos Tower where this big key might be. We do need to find that. We'd like you all to guess 1 through 22 which chest you think it would be in. We'll be going by the numbers that Freddeh opens them in. There is a torch that isn't necessarily a chest, but we're going to count that as one anyways.
Yes, sir. I have been going with 11 for this whole tournament, and it has not been right once. Maybe today will be the day, but I am going to stick with my usual guess.
Endo room, bottom right.
All
I have
right,
no idea what number that is.
Well, it entirely depends on how Freddeh clears out that room. We'll also see if he opts to go right or left side. Now he's going to start right, check these first 2 chests.
Chest number 1 is a quiver upgrade. Chest number 2 is bombs. So he will not be continuing right at all. He has to go to the left.
Yep, with no small key, he does have to go this direction. Could opt for the famed Dark Magician strats, which would see him mirror out and go full right side after Stalfos room, but for the moment, we're going to be clearing everything out here. That was 3 with a small key on Bob's torch.
Alpha Stream will have 4 through 7. Chest 4, bomb upgrade. Chest 5, red boomerang. Chest 6 is a small key. Chest 7 is also a small key. He needs to hold on to at least one of those after he finds that big key.
Yeah, he does have plenty of keys at the moment, though, so no need to worry too hard about it. Continuing on left side here, checking the double fire bar room.
Chest 8, big piece of heart. Now we'll be seeing chest 9 here in the fire snake room.
I'd definitely be interested to know what Freddeh's mind state is at this point. I mean, being in GT at the hour 20 mark is a pretty nice feeling just overall, but he has no idea where his opponent is. Still hasn't found a sword upgrade or silvers. In these sorts of tournament races, it's kind of where the rubber meets the road.
Beginning chest 10 through 13 here. 10 is a piece of heart. 11 is a piece of heart. 12 is a piece of heart. 13 is a piece of heart. That is a full heart. He wins.
Makes a 4 of a kind and is going to this is interesting. So he's going to skip out and going straight to Armos Knights, probably hoping to avoid having to do that. He is really low on arrows, so he's going to need to grab. There is a pot before Bob's Stream that does have some arrows, but he's going to have to try and stock up if possible, assuming of course that the big key is in the Armos Knight's chest.
Now, what he's not low on is magic, and just be able to torch those Gibdos like it's no tomorrow.
Does get a nice 10 arrow drop there, though, so that'll be enough to kill the Ice Armos.
See, 14 through 17 having nothing. We only got a few options left.
Yep, at this point, it's either in Bob's chest, could be in the Ice Armos chest, or, of course, there's always everybody's favorite location, tile room. It's definitely some interesting routing from Freddeh, and I think I have to imagine it's largely due to not really wanting to have to do that Ice Armos fight.
I mean, he's got Master Sword, and he's got 26 arrows, but you still need arrows to make this climb. And if you don't have silvers, you need a good bit of arrows. Chest number 18, Bob's chest. Let's see what we got. Oh, he double kills Bob. Oh, and that's potion number 4.
So the big key is either in these 3 chests behind Ice Armos or in tile room. That's a pretty nice silverless Ice Armos kill there from Freddeh.
19 bombs. 20 is the big key. Freddeh checks number 21 just to be on the safe side. Did anybody guess number 20?
No, we had a 22 and an 18, so split the difference between Tesharok and Sebatic.
Kebedek.
Kebedek. My apologies if I mispronounced that.
I don't know. I've never seen him before, so that's how I assume it's going to be. Congratulations to both of you.
You win an internet high five.
And Freddie's showing us why he needs those arrows. He needs 2 for each of these mimics.
Yeah, also going to make his gauntlet climb maybe a little bit more difficult. Depends on the runner. Some people prefer using fire rod for a lot of these gauntlet rooms. Some people like arrows. But he's going to have to make do with the little resources he has. Only 5 arrows remaining and less than half magic. Does still have that blue potion in hand.
He has a green potion as well that he just picked up, so I can see him making liberal use of the fire rod throughout the gauntlet.
Does indeed look to be the case.
As he doesn't use it in that room, I don't think.
I think he used it on one of these skeletons, but... You see Dragonmaster entering into his Ganon's tower. The big heat being in the Ice Armor's chest is not great. Means that he's not going to be able to pick up that much time. He will be able to gain a little bit of time on Freddeh here if he does just choose a path and go straight down it, either left or right. Given that Freddeh checked literally everything else except for Tile Room.
Yeah, I mean, well, he won't be able to go straight right because that key wasn't there. Looks like he may be going straight left. We'll see if he holds true. Oh, a nice double shot there on Laimolas, getting both of them with one shot.
Struggling a little bit here to get these Laimolas down. Took a few extra cycles than you would probably hope for there, but he does get through it. And we are through the gauntlet and heading up into these Wizard rooms.
You can tell he's nervous. I think you can just see it in a little bit of his execution here. He's probably keeping an eye to see if Dragonmaster has hit .done. He's probably checking that every few seconds.
Well, potentially. I know some runners don't even want to look at it. Will minimize the window actively so they can't see it. Just because you want to be focusing on your climb here. You don't want to be worrying about what your opponent's doing. I'm sure he, at the very least, had it up when he entered GT to know that he was still alive. But yeah, I think, this point, this is for your tournament life. It's the nerves can definitely be there.
It's hard not to be nervous.
All right, so that's 2 chests down, only 2 remaining to find out if we're doing Master Sword Silverless Ganon.
Come on, he's got 1,700 rupees. He has to be able to buy some silvers somewhere.
Maybe he can just fashion those rupees into something equivalent. Just tie them onto your arrows, see if it helps.
And down goes Moldworm 2. Let's see what is in this validation chest here. 50 more rupees.
All right, folks. Well, that means we are committed to a Master Sword Silverless Ganon fight. And depending on how much Freddeh has practiced this fight, that could end up being a big equalizer here. And he's got a pretty healthy lead on Dragonmaster at the moment, but he cannot afford to take any sort of deaths or falls.
And whiffs on the first Aghanim.
Gets an unfortunate blue ball there on the second phase.
I guess a double.
Couldn't tell if it was a double or a triple. It was close.
It was a double. The real Aga shot some blue balls.
You're correct. And he does indeed get him down there. And we'll be heading to his Ganon fight.
Those dang Duke boys gonna go take out Boss Hog.
See somebody in the chat asking if you go to the Sword of the Lake. I don't think so. That is pretty far out of the way, but maybe he's gonna prove me wrong.
Oh man, this suddenly became interesting.
Well, I tell you what, he knows that his opponent will not have gotten this sword in GT. So I think he'd be reasonably assured that his opponent doesn't have this. So either his opponent's also going to make this play, or his opponent's going to be doing Master Sword Silverless Ganon, in most likely. So I wasn't sure about it at first, but I actually like this call a lot. Tempered Sword versus Master Sword Silverless is a world of difference.
Yeah, I'm just imagining his heartbeat right now. This is to become one of the top 32 players in this spring tournament. It is a battle for his life, metaphorically, and neither he nor his opponent are done yet. And let's see how it goes.
Here we go. Doesn't quite get the one cycle there. Unfortunately, didn't get the necessary spins at the start of the fight, but does get into the second phase there after one teleport.
Been playing video games for near on 30 years, and dodging those bats still feels like magic to me.
And we're on to phase 3 here, so that's Freddeh out of the worst of it with this fight. Still has Blue Potion, still has a Fairy, so he is in really nice shape.
Just gotta watch out for those falls. I mean, he fell a bunch of Moldorm. Is that important for this race? Arrows of the Dark World. K45. Yeah.
A lot of locations you didn't check. So just missing out on the triple there. Would have made getting it easier if he had started charging the sword before firing the Fire Rod shot, but he doesn't need to rush things here. Just take it slow and he'll have this race in the bag.
Yeah, I think South of Grove is the only Dark World overworld place we didn't actually check.
And somebody pointed out in chat that is actually Dark World or Light World location, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Freddeh is finished.
Congratulations to Freddeh.
He walks through the door and finishes with an official SRTV time of 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 44 seconds. GG's to Freddeh. we'll see if we can get Freddeh in here for an interview. And I already see him in the waiting room, so why don't we just go ahead and pull him in?
Let's do it. Do it.
And we are joined by our winner, Freddeh. GG, sir.
Oh, I knew. Hello, GG. How's it going? Oh, fan. Sorry. Okay, yep. My bad, guys. Sorry about the headphones.
It's cool. Much better. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good game.
Good game.
So I have to start, I think, with there's definitely stuff in that seed, but start with your GT routing there. It's a little bit unorthodox. Kind of speculating on why that might have been. Were you just hoping to avoid Ice Armos, or were you just trying to hit as many chests as possible?
Partially anecdotal evidence of if there's no key right side, the key tends to be on right side. Obviously not all the time, and partly I was trying to save arrows. Because I was down to, I think, 16, 17 arrows at the time, which is not really enough to kill Ice Armos and also do the top. If I didn't get that arrow, I think I got a chest of arrows or a drop, either way. I would have probably just done Burna Strats or something and been fine, but I didn't really want to bother with that if I didn't have to. And that's kind of my usual strat, like I said, when I don't get a key right side.
Okay. And then after that, getting out to GT, we were talking about the Master Sword Silverless fight. Of course, finding that mirror in GT, you decide to head straight over, grab the Tempered Sword that you saw earlier.
Yeah, no idea which is faster, but I didn't really want to do Master Sword Silverless, so I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna go get that thing no matter how long it takes. I saw it at the start, and turns out the fourth key, as we'll see shortly, I don't know if I want to... I'll spoil it. It's on pedestal. So, no one was ever getting the fourth sword. So that was fun. Silvers, I guess, from Pyramid Fairy as well. Judging by talking to Dragonmaster after the race. So he had checked, I think, everything else in the overworld. And I think it looks like both of our next places would have been to go get those too, but we both got go mode right before. But it was cool.
Yeah, for as front-loaded as that seed was, you all had a lot of items very early.
Yeah, that was a fast seed, actually.
It was if you would merch later on for your go mode item, like you just found it in Mire.
That was one of those seeds where you really, if you went really aggressively, you probably would have. You could have gotten like a really good time. So I cleared like pretty much all of the extra side stuff that was like, okay, it could be here, whatever. I'll just clear everything I can. Was nothing. Like, got mitts from Thieves Town, or not Thieves Town, Pipe Cave. Thieves Town had something. Did Thieves Town actually have anything? I forget.
I had the flute.
Oh, that's right, I had the flute.
It had the flute, and that bow was in the C-shaped house. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I was looking at my this is why I use a tracker, location tracker. Because I was looking at my tracker, I'm like, oh, I never checked off Sea House as I was turning into blacksmith. I'm like, huh. And I was thinking about it. Wait, did I actually ever check the Sea House? Because I was saving it for after, since I had plenty of everything I needed for Thieves Town, so I just decided to. So I mean, I wasn't gonna do purple chest when I did it. Then I realized I'd forgotten C-shaped house, and like, okay, well, I guess I'll just do both. And then the bow popped out of it. I'm like, oh, well, that's really glad I didn't skip that.
We were really concerned that you may have accidentally marked it off on your tracker as like a bulk mark off, like, oh, I'll just get everything in Village of Outcasts right now, click, 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 and then just actually didn't go there.
Yeah, like 80% of the time I'll usually clear Outcasts before I go into Thieves Town. So when I come out of Thieves Town, I just wasn't thinking about it because of the whole flute blacksmith stuff. but I hadn't actually marked it off on the tracker because I was paying attention. Or something.
Looks like Dragonmaster is finishing up right now. Let's bring him on in.
He walks through the door here. He's finished with an official SRTV time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 40 seconds. And we are now joined by Dragonmaster. GG, sir.
GG's.
GG, man.
Yeah, the dastardly ice rod.
Ice Rod Go mode is awful.
Yeah, that was kind of our big concern for you as the seed progressed. We did see it early on Freddeh's side, grabbing it before even getting Moon Pearl. Fortunately, you did go back to the Hospitalist Hut before going up to Turtle Rock. Kind of take us through your mindset as you're leaving Ice Palace, knowing you only have Turtle Rock remaining, but no Ice Rod.
Well, I was going to do the whole Eastern area, and then I was going to do Fat Fairy, and so like I said, I wasn't going to do anything else. I'm going to go gamble Turtle Rock after that, because, Eastern had, 7 items? Yeah, between both spots, so 7 there, and then the 2 at Fat Fairy.
I had 8. Eastern was independent.
Oh, yeah, it was 8.
I thought 7 was counting the green pendant. Confused at where the 8 is
3,
now.
1, and 3. 7.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
No worries.
It's all fine. Where did you get Bombos, by the way? I'm curious.
Bombos was... Where was Bombos?
Almost the Spike Cave.
Oh, yeah.
I almost went to do that. Then I got the book, and I'm like, I'll pair it with Ether Tablet later. Gives me at least not an abandoned location either way.
Yeah, when I saw that ice road there, I knew I was either in deep trouble because he checked it early due to the full fact of the Moon Pearl, like the whole shenanigans with that, or I could be about even with him because of where this is located at.
Yeah, I do tend to skip that place a lot myself, so if Moon Pearl was a bit easier to find, I probably would have also not been there for a long time, especially with no mirror.
Well, yeah, I was gambling on the mirror the whole time. Like, before I get the pod, I could just mirror across, take care of it, maybe check Eastern at the same time, but never found the mirror until Turtle Rock.
Yep.
Yeah, let's talk about that opening though, because the seed gave you guys so much early, but no Moon Pearl or Dark World access.
I was getting kind of worried for Moon Pearl on Pyramid for a bit there, like until I was down to, I think, Witch's Hut, Zora, and Agnes. I'm like, I think I actually ever checked Agnes. Wasn't important. And it was like, well, we have everything to do Aga, and we have everything to get to the Dark World except for Moon Pearl. Huh. Well, I'm not doing Aghanim before doing every other location with Moon Pearl missing. That's like a huge gamble to take.
I think part of the reason why I skipped Eastern area at the start was I got the flippers and I figured, well, let's go do the whole Zora area and I can combine that with the mushroom and get all that taken care of. That's a lot of checks as well.
Yeah, I should have maybe done that when I went to check Zora the first time instead of just saving quitting out after checking the ledge, because I didn't have Zora money at that point.
I did Houlihan to get it.
Yeah, I wasn't even Houlihan within when I headed down towards South Shore. I'm like, I'll see what I get from South Shore and then decide if I want to do flipper stuff. And then just decided to do it anyway, because there was a lot of spots still to check. And I was just crossing my fingers that it wasn't ever Zora. Whoever Zora had.
Zora didn't have much, unfortunately, or fortunately in your case. But yeah, Freddeh will be moving on to face Amazing Ampharos in the round of 32. How are you feeling on that front?
Oh god, Ampharos knows me way too well.
Have fun.
It'll be fun. It'll be fine. I'm just gonna have fun with next round. I'm gonna practice as much as I can to at least stand a decent chance, but I'm expecting for him to roll me over. So I'm gonna play with no pressure whatsoever and see what happens. It'll be great.
That is a tall order. That's a definite fight, but good luck, man. I think you can do it.
Yeah, thank you. We'll see.
And for Dragonmaster, unfortunately, tournament run is over, but top 64 is absolutely nothing to sneeze at. A fantastic run through this tournament. Just kind of give us your feelings as you depart from the bracket.
I have absolutely no complaints because I did better than I expected to. I didn't even expect to make brackets. I was expecting 4-3 the whole time.
You and me both.
So this whole thing was with house money, like, okay, yeah, fun. And then it's funny that I'm finishing basically tied for 33rd. Well, I finished the Swiss stage in 33rd if you count my actual score.
Nice.
So perfect, it works.
Exactly where it should.
But no, I had a lot of fun, and I'm happy with the progress I made and what I was able to do.
Well, awesome. And you guys both put on some fantastic performances these 3 races and all the races before that. Freddeh, we look forward to watching you moving forward in the brackets and Dragonmaster, and look forward to seeing you in future tournaments.
I'll be back.
Okay, GG. And fun, interesting seeds for sure. Oy.
No more one chest swamps, please.
I got half magic. Everything is right in the world. I got half magic.
I chuckled when I found that early.
I was just like, yay. Oh my god.
All right, excellent. Well, Virtual Cat, did you have anything further?
No, I think congratulations to both racers. Take nothing away from either of you. That was a weird seed, and you both handled it with grace and aplomb, and I think you all did great. And I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in this next round.
Awesome. So also want to thank both our runners. Give them a follow. They're both fantastic runners, obviously. Thank you to Drosy1 for a fantastic job tracking today. Thank you to Synac for the restream. And thank you, Virtua Cat, for the co-coms. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Hope everybody has a great night, and we will see you with more races coming soon.
Have a good night, everyone.